and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed. We do want to thank you for joining us tonight. It's the beginning of our work week, Trinidad and Tobago, right here. So viewers, we live on Synergy Network Monday to Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. with a rerun the next day from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. and right back here another night for Real Talk with Saieed. So remember viewers, Real Talk Financing is offering you 7% on a fixed deposit. Remember that viewers, only in Trinidad and Tobago, you're getting this. So viewers, like I say, no other financial institution in Trinidad and Tobago is offering you 7% on a fixed deposit. We are mastering all the fixed deposit system in Trinidad and Tobago in all financial institutions. So if you're waiting for a good deal, now is the perfect timing to make some extra money on your hard-earned cash that you have put down in a financial institution somewhere in this country. So what you have to do, look at what they're offering you, look at what we're offering you, and just take your money and bring it here. That's all. If you want an opportunity, now is the time. Now is the time to make more money on your hard-earned cash. Also, viewers, Real Talk Financing have some vehicles for sale. Those of you who are interested, you can come on down to our office on 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shogunas. Check out the vehicles. You never know, you can make a deposit or down payment. We'll finance the rest, and you could be on your way with our vehicle. Also, viewers, Real Talk Equipment Rental have some excavator for sale. We have records for sale. Or if you have a project going on and you're looking for an excavator, you're looking for a flatbed truck with a crane in it, not a problem. You can contact us, viewers. We'll make an arrangement, we'll do a site visit, we go check out whatever it is you have to get done, and we could go forward from there. So as we start of our program tonight, Trinidad and Tobago, just an update for you that what took place over the weekend. Minister of Justice, Devish Maharaj, and Minister in the Office of the Attorney General presented instruments of appointment to the newly appointed board of the Legal Aid and Advisory Authority during a ceremony held at the authority's head office today. Minister Maharaj congratulated the new board members and underscored the critical role they will play in advising the government oversight and strategic direction of the authority. The appointment comes as the Legal Aid and Advisory Authority approaches 50 years of service. According to the Ministry of Justice, the new board is expected to provide guidance aimed at strengthening service delivery, enhancing operational efficiency, and supporting the ongoing transformation of legal aid service in keeping with the ministry's mandate. So Trinidad and Tobago, we want to congratulate them on their new appointments. So we hear that the DPP office needs staff. Hopefully they can advise the government on what is taking place. So as we're going to our current affairs segment, Trinidad and Tobago. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander has promised that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service will see an increase from 7,884 officers to 10,200 officers during a 5-year period and a recruitment program. This will significantly improve its operation and effectiveness. Among its expected to benefit, Alexander said, the TTPS will be better equipped to respond to major national events, spike in criminal activities, national disaster, state of emergency, and other national crises. The minister noted that the daily deployment of officers is currently close to 5,500 on any given day. Trinidad and Tobago, listen to this.
Officers are necessarily engaged in vacation leave, sick leave, training, administrative assignments, court attendance, and specialist operational duties. Mr. Speaker, the reality, therefore, is that the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has been required to police a modern and increasingly complex criminal environment with a frontline operational strength sufficiently below its sanctioned establishment.
So viewers, Alexander also explained that while the TTPS has deployed specialized unit, how much specialized unit we really have in TTPS? Ask ourselves that. So as he says, the deployment of specialized unit to respond to evolving criminal threats, this has placed additional strain on the existing resources. Listen to Alexander one more time.
The specialized units were created without any corresponding increase in the overall establishment and specialist divisions. This results in fewer officers being visible, available within the communities, reduction in patrols, increase in operational strain, and growing overtime dependencies. Mr. Speaker, the government cannot ask the police service to do more with less.
So viewers, he said, increasing manpower will strengthen police visibility in communities, act as deterrent to criminal activities, and improve response times. So we have 5,500 on a daily basis deployed in Trinidad and Tobago, viewers. And we want those 5,000 officers who are also involved in different departments in TTPS. Now we want these 5,000 officers to solve crime. How can 5,000 officers in Trinidad and Tobago service 1.5 million people? How could that happen? I'm asking you. How could that happen? No wonder we have crime spiking up in Trinidad and Tobago. Because out of the 7,885 police, they are split into different divisions, into different parts of TTPS. So how can we get a proper service when we are actually lacking manpower in TTPS? Now this has been going on for years. For years. You could never get a proper investigation done in a short space of time. Why? Because when you hear the officers trying to fix this problem here, he have to run the 5 and 6 other problem in that very same day. So how can we get a proper investigation done in months when it will take years to finish? Because if the officer come in the station Monday, we mightn't see him for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Why? Because he is on other sites. So this is one of the key back Trinidad and Tobago into fixing crime problems that we have. Now, the expansion is expected to roll out in phases over a 5-year period. Listen to Alexander.
$600 officers in the first year, 600 officers in the second year, and 372 officers annually in year 3, 4, and 5.
So viewers, the TTPS will also expand its training and academic capacity to ensure recruitment standards are maintained. So I'm asking myself now, PNM have been in power for 10 years. 10 years, Fitzgerald Hines, Marvin Gonzalez. How come they didn't see the need to fix the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service? How they didn't see the need? Now I'll say this, once you have a demand and there is no supply, your demand will be overpopulated. So in Trinidad and Tobago, there is a demand for police officers present. among the communities, among the cities, among the towns, among the countries. But yet, according to Alexander, 5,500 on a daily basis. So are we missing something? Are we missing something? Yes, we are missing something. We are missing a proper, functional Trinidad and Tobago police service. That is what we are missing. A proper, functional Trinidad and Tobago police service. So according to Roger Alexander, now within a 5-year period, they're going to move from 7,884 officers to 10,200 officers. 5 years to do that. 5 years. So in the next 5 years, Trinidad and Tobago, we can expect crime to escalate. To escalate. What can we do? What can we do? From now until those officers come on stream, we will have to be our neighbor's keeper. We will have to be the one who watching out for the community. That is what we will have to do. And I'm making this call again for the Commissioner of Police. Common sense goes a long way. The more household owners we have with firearm, is the less bandit will think about committing a crime. And I want the commissioner to understand that. Don't be like the former commissioner we had earlier, where we have 100,000 applicants and 5,000, or my mistake, 100 got guns, licensed firearm. So I'm making a plea to the Commissioner of Police again. You want to see crime drop? Start issuing firearms for business owners. Start issuing firearms for household owners, responsible ones, the ones that are qualified. You see, I'll tell you this, Trinidad and Tobago. Sometimes I feel that when you apply for a firearm, it's a luck and chance thing. You know, like you're applying for a loan and you're hoping you get through. Imagine business people qualified for firearm and they have to wait years. Why is this? Why is this? Is it that somebody looking for a payment? I don't know, I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Because if somebody is looking for a payment, I should have a lot of businessmen who would be willing to pay. There would be a lot of businessmen who's willing to pay. So to the Commissioner of Police, please, you have been elected to govern Trinidad and Tobago Police Force. Also, to sign off on suitable and qualified firearm files that have been resting on your desk. Sign it off now. Unless you want to take a bad name like the rest of them. And that will look real bad on you, being the Commissioner of Police. That would be sad. That would be sad. Because those before you was problems. And if you want to fix Trinidad and Tobago, because all eyes is on you in a commissioner. All eyes is on you. We expecting you to fix the crime situation. And if you don't fix the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago, you will be like another lost commissioner who passed through Trinidad and Tobago. And that will be your character going down, just like the rest of them. So let we hope that don't happen. Viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. When we come back, we're talking about Penny. Government blame crime on P&M areas. Penny, I feel you should step down now, you know. Trinidad and Tobago stay locked on. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. life throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward, trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery. At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concerns. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago opposition leader Penelope Beckles have stated that the government is attempting to blame crime on People's National Movement constituencies. So I want to ask Penny, can you label the hotspots for the Trinbagonian citizens who does not know, like myself? Are you willing to formulate a list for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who is not aware of where the hotspots are in Trinidad and Tobago, and let's see if it falls under the PNM radar? That is all I'm asking to you. This is all I'm asking of you, Penny. So Trinidad and Tobago, she said, as soon as the UNC government came into office, a state of emergency was declared, despite telling the population they had a crime plan. Penelope says they have absolutely no plan. Listen to Penny.
And it is important for me to say to you that they give the impression that every time there is an issue as it relates to crime, they blame the People's National Movement. They made you believe that once the state of emergency is implemented, crime will be no more. They told you that they had a crime plan, but they have no crime plan.
So Penny, I just want to remind you on national television that under the PNM administration, we had a minister in the Ministry of National Security, Fitzgerald Hines, who said his job is not to make Trinidad and Tobago safe. So I wonder whose job it was. This is what I want to know. Now, Penny, now Trinidad and Tobago, her comment was a reference to Attorney General John Jeremy's statement in Parliament on May 13th that a member of a Belmont gang sparked a national security incident on May 8th, which caused security at the Parliament to be beefed up and several government officials to be placed under higher protection. She added that the government wanted the population to believe that it was a PNM constituency. Trying to go listen to her one more time.
The thing I want to tell you is if you looked at the Parliament some time ago, you would have realized that they want to blame certain members of Parliament for crime in their respective constituencies. That is when they want to cause a distraction. Do not allow them to cause a distraction. They are in government. They are responsible, for the principles and for the plans to deal with crime. But they have no plan.
So, Penny, we ain't getting nothing, no protection from the PNM, you know. I just want to add that on. I want to add that. However, Beckel said, this is far from the truth. One more.
So what do they tell you? That all the crime is from the PNM constituencies. Absolute lie. Crime is taking place in every single corner of Trinidad and Tobago, including their own constituencies. We understand that crime is a very complicated issue. And when I accepted the responsibility to be leader of the opposition, I made it abundantly clear that we in the PNM would be willing to work with the government. But the government is not willing to work with the opposition because they blame the opposition for crime.
So viewers, she pointed out that opposition had expressed its willingness to work with the government on the crime issue, but she said the government was not willing as they wish to blame the opposition for crime. Now viewers, I'll tell you this. Government come, government go. The crime in Trinidad and Tobago escalates. It escalates, no matter which party come into power. And over the last 9 years, crime in Trinidad and Tobago have been way over escalating. Way over. But how do we fix it? How do we fix this Trinidad and Tobago? We need a quick solution. This is what we need. We need the officers in the community to start patrolling the community on foot. Come out, meet the people. Find out what is taking place on the ground. Don't just be in the station. Yes, I understand you patrol with your vehicles, but you need to come out and walk and meet the people. Come out. Let the people see you. That is what they want. They want to know, hey, you're on the ground. Imagine we had to wait 5 years. 5 years for TTPS to escalate their manpower from 7,784 to 10,200. 5 years we have to wait for that. Imagine that in Trinidad and Tobago. So what do we do in the next 5 years? While the crime is escalating, what do we do? So my solution is now, we have the army, Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, polishing boots. And for months, their boots are getting no more than it. It's even getting wet. Some of the boots might be remain dry right under the bed that they're coming out. So why don't they take half of TTDF officers and deploy them with police officers throughout Trinidad and Tobago? Let's say you have 5,000 TTDF officers. Why not take 2,500? You bring out 2,500 for the month of May, add them together with TTPS, rotate them throughout Trinidad and Tobago. In the month of June, that 2,500 that you had outside with the TTPS, send them back into camp and bring out the other 25 to work with the officers on them. Why not do that? What we need is security personnel is on the ground. That is what we need. When you have two police in a station, imagine a murder take place in a station in South. And when they do check now, they had 3 officers in the station. 3 officers. So if 2 crime commit in that community now, what's going to happen there? What's going to happen? Everybody, so the 3 officers they have, 2 would go out, 1 will remain on the station. And you tell me if that fixes a problem in the community. It don't. Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Said. Great program as usual.
Thank you, my friend.
Definitely not a rocket scientist to come up with this. Look, I give you full 10 points. This was discussed with my group and I over the weekend here. You get full 10 points for this suggestion, and we have been suggesting this a long, long time ago. And if tomorrow morning they bring 10,000 police officers and put them into the service, nothing tangible is going to happen. There will be the same result because we keep doing the same thing over and over and over the same way. You're not getting rid of the over 60% criminal elements in the police service. So what is going to happen if you bring 10,000 more and put them there? Nothing is going to happen. You are not holding people accountable for their action. There are no consequences for police wrongdoing. Every police officer that have been charged, they're on suspension. Look, even the one with the borough. I want Gavaro and Alexander to tell the citizen of this country if he's on suspension with full pay or half pay. That's what we want to know. And when you saying, okay, like Zozo going to solve crime, they don't have a clue. They don't have a clue. You have to get to the citizen of the country. You have to come back to the citizen who will help you fight crime, not police putting 10,000 police in the service again, or any service. Is the citizen of this country. And people like you, Mr. Said, you have a lot of knowledge. Look at the kind of knowledge you come here on your program every night and disseminate to the citizen of this country. So you telling me, I know politicians that listen to your program, but
correct,
you yes. Talk with me. People will quicker give you information than a police officer. They're going to give information. Tell the citizen the 500 officers on suspension. What you're going to do with them. You're not adopting a system to have a quick, speedy trial for these police officers. Get rid of them out of the system. But you have them there, they're riding it out until maybe 20 years. They collect the pension and all the benefits and they go on their way. So Alexander, you all are proving every day that you are highly qualified dunce. And they have the hand around Kamala neck, you know. She like she can't think. She don't know if she's going up, down, left or right. So they will do work with she. Mr. Said, you keep up this great work you are doing and keep the citizen informed. God richly bless you to have a long-lasting program. God bless you and your staff.
Thank you, my friend. So Trinidad and Tobago, switching gears a bit. Listen to this, Listen to this, viewers. Justice Frank C. Prasad has called on citizens to create Zone of Support and Safety, or ZOSAS, within home and communities as part of a national response to crime. He referenced the wider national debate on Zone of Special Operation, ZOSO, a proposed security development strategy aimed at tackling violent crime in hotspots and communities. Now, viewers, the legislation did not secure the required support for independent senators in Parliament. I don't know what again they wanted. Frank, the judge, said the implementation of ZOSAS required a collective national effort. Listen to this, Trinidad and Tobago.
The implementation of ZOSAS requires us to understand that it takes a community to protect a community. This operation will require a deliberate cultural shift, behavioral recalibration, and a reorientation of conduct, thought, and attitude.
So now, viewers, he also called for a firm rejection of all forms of violence, particularly within home. He called for strong cooperation between families and communities. You see Trinidad and Tobago, you see the community? The community is what keeps this community safe, you know. I was watching Roger Alexander on our social media blog. What is a community center? A community center is a center for the community. Manabadilas Trinidad and Tobago, I know I am laughing. So viewers, Justice Prasad said, ZOSAS will require structured intervention and consent guidance for young people. He didn't say for bandits, you know. He said for young persons or people. Listen to Frank one more time.
Ours is a nation of limitless potential, with the capacity for extraordinary renewal. But we, the people, must understand understand that national effort is required to reduce crime. And this will only be achieved if we can collectively focus upon course correction and provide constructive support to our youth and to those who require assistance.
So viewers, he said, citizens could not entirely depend on the state to solve social problem. Listen to Frank one more time, Trinidad and Tobago.
ZOSAS will require us to ensure that corrective intervention and responsible guidance are routinely engaged so that our children will be raised with structure, consistency, empathy, accountability, and respect. If we aspire to build a nation grounded in equity, guided by justice, and sustained by equity and empathy, we cannot continue to look myopically to the state to provide every solution.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I have always been saying this. Always. Police needs to be in the community. Where do we get information about the community? On the ground in the community. You can't stay in a station. And I have always said this, for years now I've been saying this. If there are officers walking around in the community, making friends with the community, crime will go down in the community. But the officers needs to be very, very active in the community. Trinidad and Tobago, we are going for a short commercial break. When we come back, Beckers to Prime Minister. Leave me alone. More wonder return.
We'll be right back.
Connect with us on social media and don't miss the latest updates. Follow us on Instagram at RealTalk_Newsroom. Check us out on Facebook at Real Talk with Saieed Ali. Subscribe to us on YouTube at Real Talk Trinidad and TikTok at Real Talk with Saieed Ali.
Throws you a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on a roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concerns. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
Welcome back.
So Trinidad and Tobago, remember Real Talk Financing? Real Talk Financing is offering you 7% on a fixed deposit. Trinidad and Tobago, that is way above any other financial institution in this country. Way above. We have 5% as of May and going back. April month. And for May month, we are giving you 7% on a fixed deposit. You know why? We were successful in business outside Trinidad and Tobago. So we decided to give you part of our, how should I say this? Inheritance. Sounds better? We want you to celebrate as we celebrate. Hence the reason why we gave you this Trinidad and Tobago. Now it's here for the month of May. If you miss it, I don't know when it will be around again. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, try and get it in the month of May. We are celebrating and we want you to celebrate. So those of you who have your cash put down in the bank and thinking about what to do with it, I'm going to tell you something. This is the best time to grab this opportunity because you may not get this again. Other financial institution, you're not getting it. You're not getting more than 3% in other financial institution. And the thing is, you're not even getting it up front. What about if you die now on a fixed deposit? You had earned cash, you didn't even enjoy it. And that's the sad part, eh? They leave other people to fight for it. So why not gain a proper beneficial from your hard-earned cash? Why not? What you waiting on? What you thinking about? You're thinking about if your bank will give you that amount? No, your bank can't give you that amount. Very soon we're going to have Real Talk Financing in Panama. By the end of May month, we're supposed to have our final documents. And hopefully in June, we'll be opening in Panama. So Trinidad and Tobago, we're expanding. Now Panama is a country that deals with US currency. Let's say 90% of their money is US currency. So we are venturing into a state that deals only US currency. Only US currency. Oh, and just a reminder, for those of you who are looking for US currency, you can contact me, we can help source it for you. We in the business, we in the money business. Hence the reason why we are growing. So, as we come back to our program tonight, Trinidad and Tobago, remember, if you're looking for a loan, contact Real Talk Financing. If you're looking for spiritual help, contact Saieed. If you're looking for equipment to rent, excavator, truck, wreckers, contact Real Talk Financing. Not Real Talk Financing, Real Talk Equipment viewers. And we're on track. You'll be on track, we'll be on track, and you'll get things done. So as we start our program tonight, Opposition Leader Penelope Beckles have called on Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar to leave her alone regarding her decision on embattled Senator Janelle John Bates. On May 1st, John Bates told the Senate that she had submitted a resignation to Beckles following allegations of improper conduct related to her role on the Public Administration and Appropriation Committee. John Bates assisted former Health Minister Terence Dialsing in reviewing and editing his witness statement ahead of his appearance before Trinidad and Tobago, before the Public Administration and Appropriation Committee. So Beckles, according to Beckles, she needs more time. More time to do what? I want to ask Beckles this. What more time do you need? What more time? John Bates found it fit to hand in her resignation, but you still need time. Time for what? Time exactly for what? You waiting for the sun turn red, or you waiting for we to have a blue moon? And this is what I don't understand. Lack of accountability. It drags on. It drags on. Such a sad state. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, Beckles has finally broken her silence, and this is what she had to say.
Everybody is waiting to find out about what the opposition leader will do as it relates to Senator John Bates. Everybody, you know. But all of you know that this government has appointed several persons who have questions to answer. And I'm sure we could go through the list. Mr. David Lee.
So Penelope. You're talking about David Lee. We're talking about someone who tendered her resignation to you. And you are wondering if to take it or not. This is not about David Lee. This is about someone. An allegation is being spreaded. And she even tendered her resignation because of the fact that you're editing statements. And she found it fit to preserve her name by handing in her resignation. You want to talk about David Lee? We ain't talking about David Lee. Trinidad and Tobago don't want to know about David Lee. They want to know about Janelle John Bates. And they're asking you. It's sad, you know. Beckles said, when the time comes, as the Constitution requires, she will act. Listen to Beckles.
I want to make it abundantly clear to the UNC. The responsibility to appoint senators of the PNM is mine. Right? So let Kamala deal with her problems. Let her decide about her appointment of her senators. But if you're comfortable appointing those people with questionable characters, questionable characteristics, leave me alone. Right? When the time comes for me to act as the Constitution requires, I will act.
So because that is why you are on the opposition and you're not on the present government now. Because of the statement like those. Call good night.
Yeah, good night. I just called on behalf of the retired daily paid workers there. The retired daily paid workers.
Okay.
What happened? They negotiate and they settle for 10%. And they're telling the daily paid workers they're making a better deal for them. They gain 100% cash, where the workers who work in get 60% bond and 40% cash. But the 100% cash we gain is 1% for 5 years.
Okay.
And for 2019 it's 5%. And they say they're not paying the retired workers the 5% for the 2019. They're cutting way off of that.
So technically you all are being robbed.
Yeah, well, we are robbed there. And we work for money.
Who negotiated this with you all?
The union and CTO. And that is what they come up with, that is what they're telling me.
So the union is okay with you all getting robbed?
Well them agree for that.
Wow.
And that is unfair.
What union is this?
NUJFW.
NGC?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Wow. So it is okay for them to say, well, all I could miss out that 2 years, nothing wrong with that.
And another, the money we get in might be about 5,000. The back pay might be about 20-something thousand.
Wow, that is a huge loss.
Yeah, and we need the money more than the people who work in, because we have these old people. Look, I had glaucoma. I just had to go by the doctor regular. I just had to go and lay some at the hospital. I'm not doing it private. I have to do that.
So this is supposed to be a lump sum. You're supposed to be collecting 20-something thousand, but they want to give you 5,000 and call it off.
Yeah, because they're only paying 5% for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. 1, 1, 1.
Hey, my friend, that is what you call big time robbery.
Yeah, that is unfair to wait. And the next thing, from 2014 to 2020, I work with them. I work overtime about $30,000.
Okay.
I'm supposed to get a $45 a day for the 5 years. I ain't get that. So they have about nearly $100,000 for me, and I lost that too.
Wow. And this is your labor. You labored in the vineyard for this cash.
Yes, I went and I work night and day.
So there are others with you who are going through the same suffering.
Yeah. Well, all the retired daily paid workers going through the same problem with the back pay thing.
Wow. But is there any lawyer standing with you all considering this matter? What he said it?
Well, that's why I called, because I want to know if there's anybody out there who could help me.
I understand.
Yeah.
My friend, thank you so much for highlighting the matter. Hopefully there's some big-time lawyers looking on the program, and maybe they can reach out to you all or the union and find out what is taking place on your behalf.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, my friend. So, Trinidad and Tobago, Agriculture and Fisheries Minister Ravi Ratiram have stated that farmers may soon begin receiving periodic update on the status of their case, an issue that has long frustrated victims who reported crime but received little to no follow-up from police. Ratiram said the proposed legislation is intended to ensure that all victims, including farmers, are treated with dignity, compassion, and respect. He noted that farmers across Trinidad and Tobago have suffered in silence for years as predatory continues to devastate livelihood. Listen to this, viewers.
This is one of the main reasons farmers have left the agricultural sector, because after reporting a crime, there is no follow-up, no updates. Silence breeds frustration. Silence breeds distrust. Victims deserve communication, they deserve transparency, they deserve to know that their case matters.
Trinidad and Tobago, what I want to find out now, I want to know about the Department of Pre-Larceny Officers. I want to know about these officers. These officers have been assigned to deal with farming especially and theft from farmers. What is going on with these officers and that department? This is what I want to know. This is what I want to know, Trinidad and Tobago. Who is responsible for that department? Is there any pre-larceny officers who are watching the program right now? You want to call in and tell us what is taking place with this unit? Because this unit was created. It was created to deal with the farmers. Whenever there's a larceny in a farm field, the farmers will go to that department and voice their concerns, make a report, and the officers would investigate it from there. What is taking place with this department? The last time I heard about this is that officers were being overworked. No vehicles. That was the last thing I heard about these. So I don't know if Minister Ratiram could reiterate a little about that or share some information in the public domain concerning that. The minister also assured that government is working to reduce incidents of petty larceny, which cost the Caribbean an estimated $321 million annually. Listen to the minister.
When we entered into office, Mr. President, there was only one operational vehicle in the petty larceny squad. Today, there are 9. This government, Mr. President, has moved to strengthen operational capacity, repair vehicles, acquire additional resources, and improve responsiveness.
So Trinidad and Tobago, they have 9 vehicles. 9 vehicles to service farmers throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the Minister of Defense, Wayne Sturge, said victims are often threatened as nuisance when seeking update from law enforcement. He urged the opposition to support the legislation. So listen to Sturge, I believe.
I was once seen as a nuisance when my car was stolen and they apprehended the chap, I think 2 days later. And I didn't even know when the case was coming up for trial. You know what eventually happened? it was dismissed for non-attendance of the virtual complainant. That's me.
Trinidad and Tobago, let me tell you something, we lackadaisical bad. Bad. Imagine a minister saying he wasn't even informed of the case. Imagine that, eh? And how you call that? You will call that performance, I believe. Right? We will call that performance. The whole the individual, the minister said he wasn't even informed of a case. The case come and dismissed, and I guess the person would have been out free. Imagine. So, 1 year now the UNC government in office. What are the options for farmers in Trinidad and Tobago? 1 year now. Under the last administration, for 9 years, agriculture suffered. Hundreds of millions of dollars were allocated to agriculture and then taken back and spent elsewhere. Clongenberg could tell you that. He self-allocated the money and he self-pulled back the money. He could tell you about that. So I want to hear what Ratty Ram now has in place for farmers since he's in office 1 year now. I see they make a big step. They made a big step pretty last vehicle. From 1 to 9. From 1 to 9. And according to him, they refurbished the vehicle too. So how much money is being allocated now for agriculture? And what is the money intended for in agriculture? This is what we want to know. You see, this information, it is not coming into the public domain. It is not. How are we to cut down food bill when the Ministry of Agriculture is not functional properly with agriculture? How? How are we to solve crime when we don't even have TTPS officers to be on the streets? How? But we expect to get a problem solved. We demand a product, but they can't even supply the product. What do you expect? What do you expect? We have more in demand than supply. It's sad. It's sad. So into some other news now, viewers. Minister of Rural Development and Local Government Khadija Amin has outlined changes to the way food badges are issued, aimed at easing the burden on municipal corporations. She said the legislation will modernize the food badge system across Trinidad and Tobago. She explained that under the current laws, all food badges expire on December 31st of the year. Now, the proposed amendment will change the system, ensuring that food badges remain valid for 12 months from the date of issued. The minister said, by spreading renewal evenly throughout the year, the measure is expected to reduce administrative pressure and provide flexibility for small business and vendors. Listen to this.
Entire of Trinidad, in all of our municipalities in the period 2023 to 2025, there were a total of 154,272 food badge applications. That gives you an idea, Mr. Speaker, of how many people are impacted by this. And it ranges from people who work as employees in major food establishments, hotels, even street vendors, and small businesses.
So Trinidad and Tobago, let's hope this could come on stream very, very fast. And we want to thank the minister for changing up the whole system, modernizing the whole system. We need a lot of that presently in Trinidad and Tobago. We have a lot of systems in Trinidad and Tobago that is either not functional 100 or it's just there and it's no use. You have to wait in line. And it's a line-up thing we're trying to separate from. Imagine, we going into the 21st century. We're in the year 2026. And we still lackadaisical in some of the systems. Imagine that. Why? Why Trinidad and Tobago? Why do we always have to remain a third world country? Why can't we go up? Like countries, other small countries that is striving for excellence. What's the key back? What's the key back? We have a lot of technology in Trinidad and Tobago that could climb the ladder. Introduce it to the society and let's move up the ladder. I'm going to tell you something. In China, the go in China is technology. The go in China is technology. And we backward down here. It's not that we don't want it, you know. It's that ministries, government ministries, not implementing what we need. Paper and pen working good? Okay, we go stick with the paper and pen. For how long? How long? Other countries are modernizing everything. We still in the golden days. Long ago days, cattle days, box cat days, tasker days. Plowing the land with a wooden device, a makeshift device. Trinidad and Tobago, we're not easy, you know. We're not easy. So viewers, we have come to the end of our program for tonight. But nevertheless, viewers, remember our run of this program is tomorrow from 11 to 12:30. We'll be right back here another night. Also, before we close, I want to remind you of the 7% Real Talk Financing is offering. Grab the opportunity. You never know when it will come around again. Trinidad and Tobago, it is the easiest way for you to make a large sum of interest on your hard-earned cash. Also, if you're looking for an excavator to buy or to rent, Real Talk Financing has excavator at Trinidad and Tobago. You want to buy? We can sell you one, or we can do your work for you. We also have wreckers. We have 7-ton trucks for sale, Trinidad and Tobago. Those of you who are looking for a car to buy, also Real Talk Financing have some vehicles for sale. Come down at our Carini Savannah Road branch, and you can check out these vehicles, viewers. Also, Real Talk Group has its yacht for sale. You know, it slipped my mind. We have our boat for sale, viewers. It's an Italian-made craft. The valuation is $195,000 US. If you're interested, those of the Caribbean who are looking at Real Talk, if you're interested, you can contact me. 339-1670, 238-6716. And we can do some business. Also, if you're looking for U.S. currency to buy Trinidad and Tobago, remember we're in the money business, you know, we license to do money business in Trinidad and Tobago. So you can check us out and we can help you. So viewers, until another night, this is Saieed saying, enjoy and be safe.